Hi, welcome to this three-part series. They really are in tandem with one another. In the first one, I spoke about Esther, very brief in that one. Well, it might not have seemed brief. I was thinking, oh, that was 14 minutes. But it's really something to get you going so that you can incorporate that divine feminine into this celebration. But this is the second one. And then on the third one, it'll be in regard to the archangels to incorporate in your ceremonies and how to incorporate them in your life. I wanted to talk a little bit about Purim. I really haven't spoken about it before. It actually was something that Lord Yeshua showed me actually within the last week. And I do know about Kabbalism. I studied it a long time ago and very voraciously, actually, because it went along with some of the things I was doing. I kind of put it on the side burner. I'd go back to it. I'd, get back and forth. But I really felt that this was important because I was guided to share these things with you. This was done a couple of days ago, but still I'm going to do what I can to speak to you in real time, so that you feel that it's not something I was out here looking for. And then you'll have the experience of my heart connecting to your heart. Okay, so Purim is a spiritual path that the Jewish people celebrate. It's very, very sacred to them. And they start it on, I believe it's Thursday night, and then it goes through the next day into Friday. And we also have this lunar eclipse, the blood moon. And that is going to put even extra energy for us in a very, very high sacred way. It's really important, and it's about divine consecration. So what's important about this particular celebration? It's really beyond just Judaism, okay? It's for those on a very high spiritual path. It holds universal themes, okay? And it really goes above and beyond our religious labels. As I've said in the other video that you'll see with Esther, if you remember, for me, I feel all our relations are connected. I don't feel there's any separation in anything. And there truly isn't, because if you look at all of the waters in the earth, they're all connected. If you go under the earth, all of the trees are connected. There's nothing that's cut off one from another. Nature teaches us that everything nourishes everything else. All the seasons are in harmony with one another. So why would it be any different for two-leggeds or our spiritual path? I feel that it's very important for us to completely acknowledge one another, because we all have the same thing inside of us, the heart. We have the same type of organs. We may express everything a bit differently. That's our individuality. But ultimately, our hearts are connected. When you sit in a room full of people and we're very quiet, even if there's some that they can't seem to keep their minds in alignment, our hearts start beating together simultaneously. We all start breathing together at some point, and then great miracles can happen for everyone in the room, outside of the room, to the room, and it leaves a beautiful imprint so that when people come again, they feel that this room, there's something really beautiful in this room. So that's important. So coming back to why Purim matters spiritually. Well, the first little thing is it's really a time to overcome darkness and light. So just as Esther revealed her truth in the right timing, we also are called to that. I mentioned that before, and I'm going to mention it again. Some things I like to say again, and I realize I'm doing it, but it's really for emphasis. Also, what I found to be so amazing, especially with this blood moon coming, is that we can reverse our fortunes. I'm sure most people are excited about that because our first chakra is a representation of our connection to the earth. It's the blood red color. It's where people are for the most part in their security. I want to make sure that I'm grounded. People feel like if I have things taken care of in my life, then I can do other things. We don't ever want to do opposite because we are in these little human bodies. It's important for us to take care of that. When we're in the womb, we're taken care of in all ways. We're floating around in there. We don't have to think about it because there's no thought anyway, but the heart is continually beating and being one with the mother. It's when we come out and after a couple years that things start seeming to shift for us because we've now got all of these little beliefs coming. But rolling back to this other thing, are reversals of fortune. What seems like very chaotic, and there's a lot of that going on. I don't know seriously if you really study any kind of history that it wasn't the case. There was always something going on. There's a lot of what I call repeaters, that go through history. It's for us to look for that, but even at that, two-leggeds manage to tend to repeat themselves on certain types of lessons, different oppressions and things. But with this, if you do this particular ceremony, which is a very sweet, easy ceremony to do, then it will shift because all of this divine energy is incorporated to give us that. So the universe is very, very generous with us. It's like, well, they need a little help. Yes, but it's not just us. Remember, it's everything in our entire world and in the solar system and spreading out to other universes. I don't want to not incorporate that. The third thing is we can celebrate, we can feel gratitude even in the little things. It does raise our vibration. I tell people, we have these frequencies. You learn it in the Think and Grow Rich book. You learn it in other places. When you're going to yoga, you're learning it. When you're sitting in church and you're very quiet, you're experiencing it. You're doing it through your own personal prayer. You might even be, languishing in a quiet moment, viewing a sunset, a sunrise. You might be on a ship just looking at the moon over, when you're doing that. There are these moments when you just feel connected with everything. And that's truly, truly important because that's a state of gratitude. What I teach is that everything is a meditation. Well, how can everything be a meditation if it's oppressive and it's chaotic? Because that's just where you are right now. That's your experience. But everything around you is in meditation. So once you allow yourself, choose to be in a silent moment, then guess what? That occurs. That silence occurs and you can feel, if nothing else, that you're breathing. It's a complete gift, a gift from that which is much bigger than us. It's a gift to our body because the minute we lose breath, we realize in that instant things could have changed. And that's what's beautiful about this. We're going to be breathing. We're going to be gently celebrating and receiving what it is that you need the most. Can you block yourself off from it? It's a lot of energy. Okay, so if you're standing in the sun and you're having one of those days, the sun isn't going to say, well, she's having a bad day, I better put a cloud over it. The sun just is what it's doing. So you can feel really uncomfortable standing there in that moment of all of that energy. You can take yourself out of it and, protect yourself. But it really is your experience. Know that whatever is out there, and it's a lot of energy, as I said, you're going to receive it. And please do not choose to feel like you're not going to get anything. You can block yourself that way if you say that, but even so, because it's a lot of energy, you will receive the seeds. They may not grow right away, and at the same time, they will be there. Okay, so having blood moon and Purim together, yes, there's a huge cosmic significance, okay? And with that total lunar eclipse, they are portals. Eclipses are always portals. Mind you, doing this for as many years as I've had, it seems like we're having an eclipse every other time. But this particular thing, it happens only, not the Purim part, this particular lunar eclipse all the way across for a consecutive amount of time. That only happened 3 years ago. So what can you do? I'm going to first tell you what will occur. You can know that whatever you were doing, notice the word, not the being part, whatever you were doing, it can end. That's why I'm so adamant about saying, please, please incorporate something. Get up early, because a lot of us are going to have to get up early over here in the US. Get up early. Have everything prepared the night before. So put the alarm on, get up. Please do what you can not to hurry through it. But the thing about being quiet in that particular time is that you'll do it. Well, what if I have to be to work and I'm on graveyard? I don't know, take your candle. If nothing else, just, do some of the, I'm going to give you some affirmations to do. Do those. Have gratitude. We've got to get creative sometimes when we're in different kinds of jobs and different kinds of things. Please do not think, which is the little Snoopy Band-Aid area, that it cannot happen. I often think of people that are in prison. I really do think of people in the Holocaust a lot and how they managed to do things, or people that were imprisoned and enslaved, and they managed to do things anyway. Get creative. Even if you're in a relationship where, you have one religion over here and you have nothing over there, you can find a way. If you really, truly decide it, that's the key word, decide, you will be able to do it. What if I don't have the right candle? Now, I mentioned this before because I get this all the time. I'm going to encourage you, then don't have a candle. Have the candle inside of you. If you really feel like you cannot do that, have the beautiful energy with you. It is important to have the candle. I'm not going to say it isn't. But if you feel like you're going to have that much angst and I can't do it, I don't have all the right things, then please don't choose that for yourself. Choose silence, choose quiet, knowing that that flame is there and it's going to connect anyway. We do that with meditation and silent prayer anyway. The candle is just very much about assisting and helping us of what we need to do. Okay, so during this particular time again, there is deep revelation that will come to you. There are truths in the shadows. Just like Esther, when she had to hide her identity and then she came into the light, things will come into light according to the best timing for you. This is where the angels come in, because sometimes we want to do these things saying, okay, I did this particular candles things, I've got everything together and nothing happened. Well, not everything's in a hurry. And there's reasons it doesn't happen all in one night, well, on 1 second. And secondarily, huge karmic shifts, okay? So sometimes remember, what looks backwards actually propels us forwards, okay? Sometimes when we don't get what we feel is karmic justice, it will happen. Now, that doesn't mean sit around and go, well, I want that karma of that particular person. This is a good time to let their karma begin. They are in their own journey. We don't know what their journey is, really. Well, I know some of people's journeys, but not everybody knows what each other's journeys are. So we want to give ourselves a break, first and foremost, because I'm really talking about ourselves. Give yourself a break. Know that what you were thinking that you wanted for that person, maybe you wake up one day and you don't have any energy on it, which is actually excellent for you, so that you don't have to play that out karmically with them. That's when grace stepped in. So really, this karmic justice is about grace and mercy that steps in for us. So what can we do during this Friday as action steps? I'm going to get to the candle pretty quick. So you can embrace this by choosing to do something kind for somebody. honestly, you can collect smiles. I did this with the people that I love, the little ones. And I said, when we go into this particular place, and it was Disneyland, I said, we're going to collect smiles and we get points. I made it a game. And the reason I did that is because it doesn't seem like people smile anymore. I do it when I'm going on a plane. Now that might seem to other people like, what is she doing? And you know what? I don't care, because frankly, yes, I get people that turn away sometimes, but ultimately, and for the most part, by the time I get to where I'm supposed to be at my gate, I've collected a bunch. And that makes a person feel good. Other things I have done, and you can do this too, and you probably have, I don't know. But if I see a beautiful woman, but she's more, she's in her elegant years, and she just looks so beautiful, and maybe she doesn't look so beautiful, I just feel it in my heart. I'll go up to them and say, you're so beautiful. And for whatever reason, they needed to hear that. So follow those little tiny fluttery things you get. Now, I know we have this little thing where we're kind of afraid to approach everybody. I'm telling you, when your heart says to do it, and then it'll be fun. The other thing is other acts of kindness. Yes, if you feel like, I really want to donate to this place today, that's an act of kindness. Do it. It really is about, what is your heart saying to do? And that doesn't mean give something because you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to do it because this is what I heard on a video. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm just giving you little ideas that you can do. This is also a time when you can release patterns. You don't have to go through these big transformational, I better do this and I better schedule in my appointment to, all these deep transformational sessions. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars. No, all of this energy is going to help you to just kind of wash it away. These are the things I know I'm still doing. I'd like that to be removed. And then if it doesn't feel that way, go to the person that you trust. I have a lot of people that come to me, students come to me, and we do it. It doesn't take that long. And if it's a super deep issue with you, something that you've experienced as a child, remember, it's not going to take maybe one time. Please have patience with yourself in these things. But I trust my process. That's something you can say. And then, of course, celebration. There's a big celebration with Purim, and I don't know exactly what it is. I'm going to tell you, I just don't. But I know they were saying something about triangle cakes and their special little jams and jellies. I'm not really familiar with that. I'll be very honest with you. But you can do beautiful offerings for yourself, something very simple. Fridays happen to be another time in Lent that you want to fast, and there's no warm-blooded meat that's eaten on Fridays. You can eat 2 small meals, and then after sunset, you can eat a meal. I encourage you to eat something very simple, make it for yourself, present it to yourself, and in a beautiful way, and enjoy it, and offer, the energy that's moving through you, offer it to others around you, and they'll receive that as too. You could, don't make it too raucous. That means too crazy, but definitely if you have friends you can get with and have a nice dinner or something like that, that's always good to do. If you're like me, I'm actually by myself quite a bit, then I do it for myself. I do put on my music. I do dance. I do have a good time, enjoying my own company. And I know that it's helping my plants, my cat, just having a good time. Well, actually, my cat hides sometimes, and I'm not getting too crazy. So I do that. The essence of Purim, combined with this cosmic energy of the blood moon, is aligning the sacred rhythms that's calling to us in faith, and, taking that gentle action and choosing to know that we're always changing and transforming. It's not in big chunks, it's consistent. Remember, I was saying earlier to you that everything that we do is a meditation. It's not just complete silence, because deep inside, there's always silence. It's what's outside. We think all this outside influence is messing us up. But once we do that breath, that quiet breath, we come back to us, ourselves. And I trust that that which is bigger than myself, my beloveds, the energy that's calling to me, that's love, I trust that that is truly working within me. So now I'm going to share with you, gosh, maybe I should make one more. No, I'll keep it on this. That means you guys have to listen a little longer, but I really want to do with this. So what I want to do is I showed you, I've got quite a few things here actually in regard to doing this. And the first thing is I've got a holder this way, you know, so that I can put this particular candle in there. I've got a few, you guys make it as easy as possible. Yes, I'm leaning into the camera. You know, I do this. I actually have these little mirrors that I got, you know, and I make sure they're nice and clean. And then I actually put these little lids, but they have kind of a, you know, they're shiny. So I put it on top of there. You don't have to do that, but I won't want everything bleeding all over the place. So then I'm going to take the olive oil because I know that's what you guys may have on hand, but I put a little bit in my hands. Okay. And I'll probably put a little bit of the myrrh in there later. It's a very high vibration, but you know, olive oil is very, very high. That's what they use, you know, for all kinds of ceremony. So I rub it in there. It gets a little warm. I kind of clap my hands 3 times. That's good because it lights my hands up. And then I will anoint the candle, starting always with the wick. I haven't scried anything on there. If you want to take a push pin on there and scry in there, Purim, you know, transformation, Esther, you know, sacredness, you can put those things. I'll probably do this after, but just for the sake of right now. So I just take the candle and I'll kind of roll it around at first to get it anointed. And then I'll focus on the sacredness going from the wick to the base. I anoint this with sacredness. I anoint this with non-judgment. I anoint this with the power of the holy angels and the sacredness of Purim. I anoint this with divine feminine courage and love. Thank you, Lord Yeshua. Thank you, Mother Mary. And I will put that in that little holder, putting it on the 2 little plates. Now, I gather a few things. I kind of go around. I told you in different times that this is what I do. I hear this is what you need to gather up. Okay, so what I've gathered up is it doesn't matter if you do or don't have this. I'm telling you what I did. You might be told just do the candle. That's good. That's all you need to do. But I was told, you know, get one. I've like a lot of crystals. So this is the one I chose. This one, it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's not because they just chopped it off. They actually, this was 5. And when you have these little bubbles, I know they say get it as clear as you can, but see the little bubbles are very helpful because that shows me that those that have created it are with me in the other realm. So I have that to go there. I also was told to get this. This was a gift to me. Somebody gave me this beautiful little dish. I think I've shown this once before, but I was told again. And then I have this beautiful amethyst in here. It's huge. It's nice and purple. And it sits on one of my altars. I have a lot of little altars around the house. And so all this purple in here for that high energy of that vibration. It's not just the third eye. It's not quite indigo. It's violet. Okay, it's a violet ray. It's very high. So I was told to get that. And then I've got this little rock. And this thing is a representation of our ancestors. I'll put it in the, I can't think of it, the name of it. But so it looks like it's like a little ball of yarn, but it is in representation of the ancestors. So I'll put that around there. And then I happen to have this little tiger's eye, little angel, you know, so I have that. I was told to do that. And let's see. I have also this to represent the water. So I have all these different shells I get from everywhere. Actually, when people would travel, because I wasn't traveling like they do, a lot of my students and clients, and I'd say, bring something back, and they might bring me a shell, or they might bring me sand or something like that, rocks. I always like those. So I have all these little shells in here to represent, you know, little conch shells, little seashells, like teeny. Just because it's little doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of energy. I mean, think of little people, they have a lot of energy. So I have that. And then I have this little representation of a little seed. This is actually, probably can't see it too good. There. Okay, that little seed of a tree to grow the tree. And then of course I have this little heart. So I have that. They told me to get that. And then this was kind of a surprise that I was told to do. So I'm going to reach around here. Okay. For whatever reason, I was told to get this. Okay, now mind you, it's very old. I'm very much a person that's very sentimental. My grandfather gave this to me years and years ago when he was alive. And he loved Hawaii. It's part of a coconut shell. And he brought it to me when he came back. And what's beautiful about this, it still plays, of course, but one day it was sitting on my bookshelf and it just literally started playing the music on its own. Yes, these kinds of things happen to me. And I took it as, you know, this beautiful sign that I'm with you. I want you to know. And I was told to have this as part of when I set up this little altar, to have that because they wanted to be a part of it. That's that wisdom. He was really like a dear father figure to me, for those of you that know my background. And he meant everything to me. Thank goodness for him. And I still thank God for him because he's still in my life that way. So having those things around, and then I'll set it up very nicely. I have a bigger angel that's there, and I'll probably set that up as well. As far as offerings, I'll have a little plate of fruit and probably some really good home-baked bread for those offerings. And then if some sort of little sweet thing, I don't eat a lot of sweets, so I'll probably have 2 or 3 different kinds of fruits with grapes and berries and things like that sitting there. And I don't know, maybe cheese, I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but something super simple so that as I'm doing this prayer work, which I'm going to be sharing with you, then I have a plate there, a tiny one for them and another one for me, so that when this is all done, I'll have that energy to take within myself. So that's what I would advise you. Remember, it's not, I happen to have all this stuff around me, so that's one thing. But please, please, please don't make it difficult on yourself. Make it super easy. I told you to do this. Make it simple. I want you to then light your candle, okay? And if that's all there is, that's all you need. If you can't do that, just get quiet and just see the flame there. Just settle your eyes into the flame. Fire helps us to get settled. But just settle, even close your eyes if that's what you want to do. And say something to the effect of this. You know, as we gather under this sacred moon, we honor the hidden miracles and unseen hand of grace. Like Queen Esther, may we walk in courage, revealing truth at the right time, and trusting in divine timing and protection. May this flame be a beacon illuminating our path through the shadows, reversing all harm sent against us, guiding us to the season of joy, abundance, divine justice, and wisdom. With gratitude, open my heart. Release, if you will, the old patterns, the old ways. May you help me to welcome in new birth, newness of all. And may I stand in your light, the light of sacred victory Amen. So be it. So it is. Now, yes, I prepared that ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that those particular words, when I'm writing certain types of poetry and stuff, I do take that kind of thing down. Okay, also, you might want to incorporate this if you'd like. This is after the prayer, and you'll just be quiet again, silently rest in the energy of the flame with your eyes open, closed. But say this: I stand in divine alignment. I am guided by wisdom and truth. I remove with your grace and mercy all obstacles. They fall away and disappear, for they never were. And what has been hidden now reveals itself for my most highest good. I will and welcome courage, sacred joy, and playfulness into my life. I welcome true abundance in all of its forms. I open my arms and receive it. Under this moon, I rise with clarity, strength, and divine justice. So it is. Now, those things, you can say them in your own words. Of course, I want you to come from the heart. And yes, this has been probably the longest video I think I've ever done. But please do watch them. I encourage you. I would say this, I might have said it earlier, it's not very often that I go to these lengths on videos. I do this with my students, I do this with my clients, but I feel like we all need this. It's all necessary, because this aligning of the way the planets is, and Purim and Lent and Holy and everything that's occurring right now. I probably missed something there saying it, so it's super important so that we all see one another as we truly are, only from this heart space. And as we choose that, so it is. I welcome you and I thank you for all these moments you've spent with me at this particular time. Have a very blessed, blessed Purim, blood moon, lunar eclipse, and all of it.